Hello. Happy Monday. Today is the 25th of April, which means this is our last week of April. Damn. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't even think about it. I have to choose from a what do you call it? I have to choose from a group of quotes that I have that I'm gonna do for the May quote. So I didn't even pick one and start on that yet. Otherwise, I would have given y'all a sneak peek. I'm sorry, I didn't think about it. Maybe no. I was gonna say maybe I'll get back on this week, but no. Let me just not make any promises that I may not be able to keep. Anyway, though, I hope y'all are doing super well. This past weekend was lovely, lovely, lovely weather. I'm sitting by my window right now, and I can already tell from the breeze that it is a different day than it was yesterday, and certainly a different day from what it was the day before yesterday. Saturday, it got up to like 80 degrees. Yeah, it says it's like 55 right now. Feels like, oh, feels like 50. That's not too bad. But yeah, it's Monday. Getting back into the swing of it. What's happening? I think I'm in my summer week. As far as like my cycle. No, is that true? Yeah, I'm in my summer. Yes, I'm in my summer. Wait, spring? Oh no, I'm in my fall, which means I'm PMSing. So I don't know if y'all saw if I talked about this in the one of the last videos, but like I had saw this concept of our cycles being likened to the seasons. So like in the menstrual cycle, it is your winter, and then spring, and then summer when you're ovulating, and then fall as you're gearing back up for rest and restoration in wintertime, right? But I love that, and I'm gonna continue to like think of it that way, even though I understand now my body it does not work that way, and I think that a big reason why it doesn't work that way is because I've been on the birth control pill for 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. Like consecutively. I think I might have taken like one break one time, but it wasn't for a long time. I don't think it was like even like a year off. So for the most part, I've been on the pill consecutively for 15 years, and so I know my body doesn't even that cycle doesn't even matter to my body because I don't even ovulate, you know. But it is just nice mentally to kind of feel like I don't know, like there's something outside of myself that's kind of governing things and stuff like that. But speaking of that too, though, I think at the same time that I'm noticing that, I'm also coming to the realization that being a person um, clinically diagnosed with major depressive disorder, my mind also doesn't work the way, quote unquote, what is it called? Neurodivergent and then neuro. I'm trying to avoid saying normal, but brains and spaces that are not riddled with things like depression and anxiety, they work very differently than people who have those other things going on, depression, anxiety, ADHD, any other version of being on any of the spectrums. So that's also something that I keep coming to realize too, and I think that it's really helpful for me to remember that because I do all of this stuff. I'm very attached, I would say, to my morning routine and stuff like that. And for a long time, for years, I used to always be like, oh, like if I fell into a depression or I felt anxious or worried or just anything heavy, I would be like, oh, you didn't do your routine right or you didn't wake up early enough. Like blaming myself instead of just being like, girl, your brain doesn't work that way, you know? And sometimes it's not going to be in your control. Sometimes it's not going to matter how much you meditate, how much how much kombucha I drink, how much I suppress myself from doing things like drinking alcohol or like eating certain things. Like sometimes it's not going to matter. Ding dong, bing bong. So that's just helpful for me to note, just in general, that and helps me on my quest to acceptance. So presence is something that presence and mindfulness has been something that I've been practicing for years and years and years. And I have a pretty decent handle on that. Like, I have like hyper awareness of it, and I'm pretty decent overall at just like really being in my body and not in my mind. And I'm super thankful for that. But now that I'm noticing how good I am at that, I'm like, oh, but a lot of your suffering and inner turmoil comes from resistance. So sometimes I'm in the present space, but I'm judging the present space, or I don't like it, or I'm resisting, or I'm sharing a present space with other people and I'm judging their responses to me, or I'm resisting the way that they're showing up. So now I'm in a space now where I'm like, okay, we've cracked the presence code. Now we got to crack the acceptance code and the flow code of just being like water. Like, it's so interesting. It's such an interesting concept. And it's like funny because when you practice presence and mindfulness, as long as I have, you don't even think that that's a thing. You think that you've done everything. Like the whole thing is just cured with presence. And that's not true, I'm noticing. Really just, especially when it comes to other people, because I live by myself. And when I stay in my bubble, as long as sometimes I can, I'll be fine. I'll be having a great time. But it's because I don't have anyone outside of me kind of shifting the space. And so it makes me feel, it gives me a false sense of control. And then when other people come in, I try to hold on to that false sense of control by controlling them and by having expectations for the way that they respond to me. And when things don't go that way, I'm upset. And it's like, well, girl, you can't control that other person. You're not supposed to. You shouldn't want to. Like, let's try being around people who we love enough that we can accept them as they are. And that's hard. I know because I love everybody, but sometimes my friends be getting on my fucking nerves, or like I'm in a space and what is that book? The Mastery of Love. They talk about how we all are just walking around with all these wounds. And over time, if we leave them alone, they start to heal, but we don't have the luxury of just sitting in silence and being with ourselves, and nor should we want to for the wounds to just like completely heal. So instead, we're living a life where the people that we are coming into contact with are constantly triggering us and scratching those wounds open. And so we have to figure out how to respond in a way so that we do not um, stunt the growth and stunt the path of those wounds healing while we're continuing to be in connection with other people. So I'm trying to keep that in mind because I had a moment over the weekend with a very close friend of mine, one of my best friends, and it was like it was like a very short, heated exchange, but we were both very honest, and it got like we got to the nitty gritty of it so easily. And as soon as I let go and understood the responsibility that I had in creating that tense moment, I apologized. And it was literally a matter of like maybe a 40-second exchange. And there was another person there, and that person was like, y'all are so cute. Like, y'all are so, like, because we really had a moment where we kind of went back and forth with each other. And then it was like immediately when I was honest, and that's the thing that I'm working on too. Like, I have to be very honest. I'm learning how to be more honest. I have, hidden myself and hidden my agenda and my intentions and my thoughts and what I mean a lot in my life just because it felt like the safest way to go about things. And I noticed in that moment over the weekend when I was just honest. So we were at my house. I'll tell you the whole thing so that makes sense. We were at my house and she was going we had just finished skating, so she was just gonna like clean herself up and stuff, and she was asking me where a towel was. And I immediately got frustrated and I was just like, why don't you just look? Like, just go. And she's just like, I don't want to just be going through your stuff. And I was just like, just look. Like it, like whatever I said. And she was just like, I don't like that you're talking to me that way. And when she said that, for a split second, and because my very first reaction is to be like, well, girl, then look then, like, like to be more defensive and kind of double down. But in a moment, somehow my brain was like, it was very quick. I don't even know if my brain like really processed it the way that it seems like it I did, but something in me was like, "Why are you acting like this?" And I said out loud to her, "It frustrates me when people that I love and people that I have over my house a lot act like they can't navigate the space because it makes me feel like I'm doing a bad job making the people in my space comfortable." And she softened up and was like, "Oh, I understand. I just didn't want to go through your thing." And I said, "You're right. I apologize for talking to you that way, but please feel free to just go through my stuff." And it was such a quick exchange. And I'm so thankful for that moment. I'm so thankful to have people around me that, because my brain, with all of these patterns and habits and past stuff, continuing to kind of regulate the way that dictate the way that I react and respond. That was a moment where one of my neural pathways ways got reworked from me having that moment and having proof now. It was safe for me to say what was actually true for me, which is it makes me feel insecure. It makes me feel like I'm not making people comfortable. When people that I love and people that are here all the time are asking me like, "Oh, where is this? Where is that?" So because I was honest in that moment, it softened up the whole moment. And I know that it won't always be that way, but I do want to um I want to make myself understand the importance of being honest anyway, and that it's for me. And I have the privilege and the blessing of having people like her who soften up in that moment and meets me where I am. But I know not every person is going to be that way. So I do want to make sure that I understand not to expect that out of every single person, but to also understand that me being honest is for me. So that was just a special moment this weekend. I was happy to have. And then we went on to have like a pretty good day. She didn't feel well, so we cut the day short, but that's always cool with me. One thing about me, I can always go home. If I am always ready to go home. Like, even if I'm having such a good time, I'm having a blast. If I'm with a group of people and I didn't drive, which I don't these days, and somebody look at me and say, "I'm kind of ready to go," bet, let's go. So yeah, she's feeling a lot better now, but over that day she wasn't feeling so good. So we did a couple of things and then we pushed it right back to the crib, and I came home and I got in the shower, and I was supposed to link up with a Tati because her birthday was last week, but we just didn't. It didn't work out that way. I ended up falling asleep. I was trying to like just freshen up and I thought I was still awake and just lively. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna freshen up and then I'm gonna see. And if she's trying to pop out, maybe I'll, change my clothes and go or whatever. But girl, I went right to sleep. I woke up at like 3 in the morning. My lights was on and shit. I'm like, oh wow. Well, oh well. But then Sunday, I had a really beautiful Sunday yesterday. I woke up. I've been going to church on Sundays with my best friend too, every weekend. For Easter weekend because I'm not a church goer like that anyway, but lately I've been making it a habit to go to church with my friend, and I know that I know that it's been right because I've been actually called to it. So I'm not a person that like I don't need to join the church. I want to give myself the freedom. Like as soon as I don't feel called to it anymore, I won't go. And when I feel called to it again, I will. Like whatever. But even back when I was younger, and my mama would, try to get us to go to church or make us when we were real young. We never went to church on Easter Sunday because Easter Sunday is when people who don't go to church because that is their mamas and their grandmamas like that is like they hard limit. Like you gotta come to church on Easter. So I never go to church on Easter Sunday. It'd be a little too chaotic for me. But so I didn't go last week, and then this past weekend, when I woke up on Sunday morning, I didn't really feel called to it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll catch it virtually. Maybe I'll watch it on the YouTube or whatever. But I was just like, I kind of just want to flow through this day. And I ended up putting on a hoodie and some leggings, taking a walk to this little diner by my house. So cute, honestly. Like I might readjust my budget because I've been doing a budget every month. I might readjust my budget to a lot for me going there every Sunday. Like it's so cute, and I really, especially as it gets warmer outside, I would love to just walk there at least weekly. It's very cute, love it. But yeah, went there, sat by myself, had breakfast, Baby, try something different this time than I did. I've only been there twice, so this is my second time going. The first time I went, I had a patty melt, which is so random. I had that for breakfast, but this time I got country ham and it came with like grits and eggs and like it came with like a gravy. Let me tell you something. When I was a kid, my mama used to always buy the little like McCormick packets to make gravy. And she used to always be like, I cannot make gravy. Like, it is so hard. And then I became an adult and I became really, really like enthralled with cooking. Like, I really, really love to cook now, which is crazy because I was terrible and I had no interest in cooking when I was younger. But now I really, really love cooking. And maybe like a year or two ago, found me a little recipe for some smothered chicken, made my first batch of gravy from scratch. And I'm like, this ain't hard, da, 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 whatever. Gravy is not easy for people. Gravy not even easy for restaurants. When I tell you that gravy was so salty, like I have my best friend again. Me and her have two very different palates. She really don't like salt, and like when I'm sitting next to her eating something, especially if we share something, so we're tasting the same exact thing, she'll be like something is salty when I'm like, this is perfect, or this ain't got enough salt. Like that's kind of like how my palate works when it comes to salt, because I like salt. Never in any of my days, never in any of these 30 years have I ever had anything that's salty. Like, I mean, it was salty to the point where I put it in my mouth and I felt it in my chest. Like, it was crazy. So, needless to say, I did not finish all of that ham. Those grits, immaculate. Sunny side up egg, can't go wrong. Delicious. Coffee, so good. Everything was great. But that gravy, baby, but in that moment, I was like, wow, God really, I felt chosen, because I have now made particularly smothered chicken where I make a homemade gravy. And baby, your girl don't miss. Now, I'm not the best cook in the world, and it's certainly some things that I be needing to like really take my time on because I'm like, wow, I really fucked this up, not being patient enough or overseasoned this or did that. I definitely have those moments, but your girl does not miss with the gravy. I have not yet. So that really was a moment of like releasing my judgment, but also being like, wow, thank you God for choosing me because I could be out here serving folks gravy like that, and I'm not. Never have, never will. So that's what's up. Huh, what else? What else? Mm, I don't know. I feel really good. Oh, I just wrote a new piece. So be on the lookout for that. It should be not next week, maybe not the week after, because the week after I think we might do like a Mother's Day episode for Away with oh, got an update about that too. If you follow Away with Words the podcast on Instagram, we have been locked out of our account for a couple of weeks now. So I continue to appeal and send in information so I can get the page back. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that pressed about it. I don't know. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. It is what it is. I'm trying to get it back, but if I don't get it back, I don't know. I was just thinking the other day, like so much is happening in social media, especially like Instagram and Twitter. Like I don't know if y'all been on Twitter the past couple of days and had that random complete change, like it's bigger, like it's wider. It's kind of like it damn near looks like it's trying to be like Instagram, kind of like with just the scroll, being able to scroll and seeing all of these images and stuff. And it really downplays just tweets, just words, which is what I'm there for. Like I'm trying to get my words off. So it's interesting. I was thinking the other day, like, what's gonna happen if like all this shit just go to hell? Like I think more and more people are getting less attached to social media as a whole. And I think that I am frustrated with social media, with the algorithm and with all these ads. even on Twitter. I was starting to realize because that is the bit when it got bigger, and I don't know if they ramped up on it with the update. But I'm like, what are all these tweets like ads and tweets from people I don't follow or nobody that I follow follows? Because sometimes you'll get people's liked tweets or people's retweeted tweets. But I was seeing stuff and I'm like, nobody retweeted this. Doesn't say that anybody I follow liked this. It's just like random based off of your likes tweets or based off of your and I'm like, this shit is starting to get out of hand. But I'm thankful that I have an evergreen space as far as like my own business and my own content, which is yamash.com. We gonna see though, because I don't know. I'm gonna continue to roll with it every week, posting our episodes, posting content as I see fit. I'm also just loosening my grip on that as a whole because I don't like the stress of it. I don't like the comparison of it. I don't like feeling like I'm doing something wrong or my shit isn't good enough because I know for a fact that that's not it. I know that my content may not have found all of its audience yet, and that's okay. But the feelings that I was having before, like, oh, why does this podcast have all these numbers and what are we doing wrong and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that no more. I can't. I can't. It literally makes no difference. It's fine. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it's gonna look like over the next year or so because it seems like the dynamic of social media overall is just changing. It is getting way more like convoluted with all of this other shit. And in my mind, only one of two things can happen. Either we all flee from social media, or most of us flee from social media because it's just getting stupid, or they're going to have to change it. They're going to have to make it more organic and people forward, like human forward, not like corporation forward or content forward or like, you know? So, can't lie. I'm hoping for the latter. I definitely understand that I am connected to the whole dynamic of social media. We've had it for a very long time. Thankfully, I didn't grow up with it like these kids, but I mean, I had a MySpace page when I was like 12 or 13. I was on Black Planet and tagged. Like we've been doing this for a very long time, and I think that the the social construct of it is kind of like embedded in a lot of us. So I don't necessarily want to see it go all the way, but I would love to see it get more back to its kind of organic roots and more people forward. But what you gonna do, child? I don't know. We gonna see. What else is up? Can't think of nothing else. I'm just sitting on my couch. It's only 11. I'm gonna break my fast at noon, eat some fruits. Um, I've already finished my written piece. I was gonna write two pieces, but then I hit up Tati because I'm like, maybe she should produce an episode. I don't know if y'all know this, but I've been trying to make sure that our episodes, especially when it's just me and Tati, and when we have a guest, not so much, but our episodes with just me and Tati and Michael, I try to actually write a whole blog piece as like reference point and just extra content, like, oh, if you like this and you're a reader, like you can read this, type shit. So I already wrote a piece for one of our next episodes and I was going to write another, but then I was like, oh, it's Mother's Day coming up. Tati's a mom. Maybe she would like to produce that episode herself. So um, delegating instead of me doing everything and me getting better at that. What else? Oh, so yeah, as far as like my list goes today, that was it. This is my last thing on my list. I might check something off from tomorrow's list. I might, but I'm not gonna push. I'm not gonna do too much. Um, I love that my Mondays now are very calm. I have been working a temporary job, a temp position, which man, God bless the past me. God bless 3 years ago me. Just didn't know what I didn't know. I much prefer the temp space than being someone's full time employee. because it's just a lot less obligation. And then the space that I've been in, thank God, obviously of course, there's always more money to be made, but the fact that I've been able to stay within the range of what I was making and even a little bit more than that, so I am able to kind of just still have my goals. I'm on a debt pay down plan, and that makes me just very hopeful about myself and my financial life and my financial ability and the growth of it. So it's been good though. I love that because I have so much less obligation in the workspace. I've been really able to just do my days how I want to do them. I'm working from home. Um, if it's up to me, I don't put any meetings on my calendar for Mondays. I'm like really using this day to, like, instead of me jumping into the week like I used to on Monday, like rushing head first and doing all this extensive morning routine and doing all this shit and all this stuff on my list. I'm just easing into it, and that feels so much better. And being able to do that is such a blessing. I'm so blessed and so thankful for that. For real, I did not know what I did not know 2 3 years ago. Okay. Well, I guess I'll quit talking y'all ear off. Just wanted to give y'all an update. These video diaries are becoming increasingly important to me. I know I didn't do one last week. I don't think I did one last week, which is why I'm kicking this week off with one, which I think moving forward I might just do, especially because, like I said, I am shaping my Mondays to be a little bit more leisurely, a little less chaotic, so I can really just sit down and like have my tea and I can talk to y'all. So should be good. Either way though, definitely looking forward to having it. Oh, I can be telling y'all. I can tell y'all about the cards that I pull when I do that. Today I pulled I should reach over there so y'all can see it. I'm not gonna do that though. Sorry. I'll show y'all next time. But I'm using my erotic tarot deck as of late, and I pulled a card for today. And when I pull a card, a daily card, now in my mind, I'm just saying, God, whatever you have for me today, I'm open to it. I'm open to any messages that you have for me. I usually say the date, like on this day, Monday, April 25th, whatever you have for me, whatever I should know, like I'm open. And today I got the Queen of Candles, and she is boss bitch energy. She is successful. She is dominant. um, what else did it say about her? She inspires people, all this good stuff. So that was pretty cool. I really liked seeing that card. It was a gorgeous card. The erotic tarot deck that I got it from the Silver Room in Chicago. You could probably find it online though. It's illustrated by Sophie Birkin, and the illustrations are so gorgeous. They are gorgeous. They are very diverse and inclusive. All types of different depictions of people, different colors, different shades, different shapes, different sizes. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this deck for sure. So that's the card that I pulled today. So I'm expecting boss bitch energy, which I mean I'm giving boss bitch energy. I'm already through my list today, like period. Okay, let me stop talking y'all ear off. I love y'all so much. Um, you will hear from me surely through other mediums, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, throughout the week. But other than that, I will catch y'all next week. I love y'all so much. Okay, peace.